Structure of DNA. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Study Animated. Today, we are going to understand the structure and packaging of eukaryotic DNA. So, let's begin. Inside a eukaryotic cell, the genetic material is mainly present inside the nucleus. A typical mammalian cell contains about 6.6 billion base pairs of DNA in both strands, and if the DNA from one cell were completely stretched out, it would be approximately 2.2 meters long. But the nucleus is only about 1 micrometer in size. So, how can nearly 2.2 meters of DNA fit inside such a tiny space? The answer is packaging. DNA is not present as a loose molecule inside the nucleus. It is associated with proteins and organized into a highly compact structure called chromatin. Now, let's take one chromosome and start untangling it. A chromosome is made up of a very long DNA molecule associated with proteins. The chromosome becomes highly condensed during cell division, especially at metaphase, which is why chromosomes can be clearly observed at this stage. When the cell is not dividing, the same DNA exists in a less condensed form called chromatin. So, before going further, we need to understand chromatin itself. Chromatin occurs mainly in two forms, euchromatin and heterochromatin. Euchromatin is the relatively loosely packed form of chromatin. Because it is less condensed, it is more accessible to the transcription machinery and is generally transcriptionally active. It also stains relatively lightly. Heterochromatin is the more densely packed form of chromatin. Because it is highly condensed, it is less accessible to the transcription machinery and is generally transcriptionally inactive. It stains more darkly. So, at this level, remember, euchromatin, loosely packed, lightly stained and generally transcriptionally active. Heterochromatin, densely packed, darkly stained and generally transcriptionally inactive. Now let's continue untangling the chromosome. The DNA is associated with histone proteins and non-histone chromosomal proteins. The higher levels of chromatin organization require these additional non-histone chromosomal proteins. As the chromatin is progressively folded and condensed, it eventually forms the highly compact metaphase chromosome. But how does this packaging actually begin? For that, we have to go deeper. Imagine that we are pulling the chromosome apart until we reach the basic unit from which chromatin is built. This basic repeating unit is called the nucleosome. Now we have reached the nucleosome. Let's understand this structure completely before moving further. Histones are special proteins associated with eukaryotic DNA. They are basic proteins and are rich in the amino acids lysine and arginine. These amino acids carry positive charges. DNA, on the other hand, is negatively charged because of its phosphate groups. Therefore, the positively charged histones interact strongly with the negatively charged DNA. Now, 8 histone molecules come together to form a structure called a histone octamer. The histone octamer contains 2 copies each of 4 histone proteins: H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. So, 2H2A plus 2H2B plus 2H3 plus 2H4 is equal to 1 histone octamer. The negatively charged DNA then wraps around this positively charged histone octamer. A typical nucleosome contains about 200 base pairs of DNA in the insert description. This DNA histone complex is called a nucleosome. Nucleosomes are the repeating units of chromatin. Now, there is another important histone that we need to understand. It is histone H1. H1 is associated with the DNA between adjacent nucleosomes and helps in stabilizing the packaged structure and promoting further condensation. The DNA connecting to neighboring nucleosomes is called linker DNA. So, a nucleosome is not simply an isolated bead. It is part of a continuous arrangement in which nucleosomes are connected by linker DNA. When many nucleosomes are arranged along the DNA, they give the characteristic appearance of beads on a string when observed under an electron microscope. The nucleosome itself is approximately 10 nanometers in diameter, and therefore this level is commonly referred to as the 10 nanometer fiber. So, at this stage, we have DNA wrapped around histone octamers nucleosomes beads on string structure about 10 nanometers wide. Now let's move one level further. The 10 nanometer nucleosomal fiber is not the final level of packaging. It undergoes further coiling and condensation to form a more compact chromatin fiber. This is traditionally described as the 30 nanometer fiber or solenoid structure. At this level, the nucleosomes are packed much more closely together. The interaction of histone proteins, including H1, helps in stabilizing this higher level of chromatin organization. So now the DNA has gone from a 2 nanometer double helix to a roughly 10 nanometer nucleosomal fiber and then to a 30 nanometer chromatin fiber. Now let's continue. The 30 nanometer chromatin fiber undergoes further folding and forms loops. These loops become associated with non-histone protein scaffolds. The looped structure can be further organized into larger supercoiled regions. In classical chromosome packaging diagrams, this higher order organization produces fibers of roughly 300 nanometers. These structures are then further condensed. As the chromatin continues to coil and supercoil, the width of the structure increases to roughly 700 nanometers. At this stage, we are looking at one highly condensed chromatid. During metaphase, two sister chromatids are present together, producing a fully condensed metaphase chromosome that is approximately 1400 nanometers in total width. So, now we have followed the packaging from the chromosome inward. A metaphase chromosome is about 1400 nanometers wide. Each chromatid is about 700 nanometers wide. The condensed higher order chromatin is organized into structures around 300 nanometers. The chromatin fiber is about 30 nanometers. And the nucleosomal or beads on string fiber is about 10 nanometers. Finally, we reach the DNA double helix, which is about 2 nanometers in diameter. Now let's untangle one nucleosome completely and finally reach the DNA molecule itself. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It is a polymer made up of repeating units called nucleotides. Every nucleotide has 3 components: a deoxyribose sugar, a phosphate group, and a nitrogenous base. There are 4 nitrogenous bases in DNA: adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. Adenine and guanine are purines. Purines have a double ring structure. Thymine and cytosine are pyrimidines. Pyrimidines have a single ring structure. Now let's see how these nucleotides join together. Adjacent nucleotides are connected by phosphodiester bonds. The phosphate group forms a linkage between the 5' carbon of one sugar and the 3' hydroxyl group of the next sugar. Because of this arrangement, every DNA strand has a direction. One end is called the 5' end. The other end is called the 3' end. Now look at the complete DNA molecule. DNA consists of two polynucleotide chains. The two chains run in opposite directions. This arrangement is called antiparallel. So, if one strand runs from 5' to 3', the other runs from 3' to 5'. The two strands are held together by hydrogen bonds between their nitrogenous bases. But the bases pair in a specific manner. Adenine pairs with thymine. Guanine pairs with cytosine. This is called complementary base pairing. Adenine and thymine are joined by two hydrogen bonds. Guanine and cytosine are joined by 3 hydrogen bonds. Therefore, the two strands of DNA are complementary. The sugar phosphate backbone lies on the outside of the molecule, while the nitrogenous bases are directed towards the inside. The two polynucleotide chains then twist around each other to form the characteristic right-handed double helix. The DNA double helix has a diameter of approximately 2 nanometers. The distance between two successive base pairs is about 0.34 nanometers. One complete turn of the helix is about 3.4 nanometers and contains approximately 10 base pairs. The double helix also has a major groove and a minor groove, which provide regions where DNA-binding proteins can interact with the DNA. So now we have reached the smallest level of the structure we started with. We began with the nucleus. Inside it, the extremely long DNA molecule is packaged into chromatin. Chromatin exists as relatively open euchromatin and more condensed heterochromatin. The DNA is wrapped around histone octamers to form nucleosomes. Nucleosomes produce the approximately 10 nanometer beads on string fiber. This fiber is further organized into the classical 30 nanometer chromatin fiber. It undergoes further folding, looping and supercoiling, producing higher order structures of about 300 nanometers and then about 700 nanometers per chromatid. Finally, two sister chromatids together form the highly condensed metaphase chromosome, about 1400 nanometers wide. And if we continue untangling that chromosome in the opposite direction, we eventually reach the DNA double helix itself, only about 2 nanometers in diameter. So the complete packaging pathway is 2 nanometers DNA double helix 10 nanometers, nucleosomal fiber 30 nanometers, chromatin fiber 300 nanometers, looped structure 700 nanometers, chromatid 1400 nanometers, metaphase chromosome. This is how an enormous DNA molecule is organized into a compact eukaryotic chromosome while still allowing specific regions of DNA to remain accessible when needed. Thanks for watching Study Animated. Keep learning, keep exploring, and stay curious.